Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. And today I'm once again joined by my good friend Dave from Total Blackout Painting. Hello, dude.
Uh, Hello, we're back. It's
Yes, we
a
are.
wonderful rainy 4th of July here.
What are you talking
I'm
about? The
gonna.
sun is shining and birds singing out here.
Yeah,
So
it's
I am starting already to draw some random shit. Do you want to inform the people what I'm doing?
yeah. So Trim and I were BSing before the stream, and he just started drawing a Violator from Spawn, and so it led to a discussion. And we're like, hey, this would be a good discussion to have recorded since we're going to record it anyway. So we're doing. Trim's going to draw the Violator from Spawn Comics, and we're going to talk about the Violator and Spawn comic and Todd McFarlane, because it really is like there's a lot of like historical kind of, I don't want to say precedents, but there's a lot of historical um, significance around Spawn comics when it comes to the comics industry. Aside from it just being like a like an interesting and iconic comic, but
It is not
like
really just baby's first edgy comic. It has a lot of substance. Though I never
mhm.
really read much of the comics myself, as my first and mostly only stint with Spawn was through the cartoon,
The
which,
HBO cartoon.
yeah, it was pretty darn good, all things considered.
Well, but really, so the fact that exists kind of just is a testament to kind of how good the Spawn comics were. But more than that, of like how much of um, a cultural phenomenon that like Spawn, not only Spawn comics, but more independent comics started becoming in the 90s. Um, there was a real, I kind of like almost stagnation in the comics industries in the late 80s and early 90s, in that there wasn't a ton of new characters, right? It was a
No.
lot of the same characters all over. Like you look, it was Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and yeah, they'd introduced a new X-Men now and then, but there was never, and the X-Men were always iconic, you know. And you can name, okay, who are the most iconic X-Men?
That is Magneto, Cyclops,
Oh, he's not an
Jean
X-Man,
Grey,
he's a bad
Wolverine. He's an X-Men to me. He's a mutant.
guy. Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, but
that would, of course,
it's like
Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, so
yeah,
on.
at the very least, it's always Cyclops, and generally Jean Grey, along with either um, along with Wolverine, generally Colossus, um, and then Iceman is another one, like the iconic. But a lot of the artists felt like kind of restricted at the time, and it wasn't just Marvel too; it was DC, and it was really like it was in the 90s and after the 80s when everything got commodified in the 80s, and the 90s and everything beyond are just, we're just even now living through the repercussions of what happened in the 80s, to many industries. So um, there were some really like good and iconic artists that made some really had some really good runs, like Todd McFarlane, who did Spawn Comics. One of the runs that got him like put on the map was a Spider-Man run. I gotta go back to my notes here. So he was doing um, oh, he did Amazing Spider-Man for a long time. He introduced Venom. So he's one of the guys that introduced Venom and started doing that the symbiote storyline. He was part of that, and so his art style was great. I mean, obviously, because you can tell like how iconic the Spawn characters are and everything. Um, and he was just a really, uh, he was a really um, creative figure.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, like Todd McFarlane was always a pretty personable guy too. He always seemed like a really nice guy. Um, but he created some really great characters, like the Spawn comics, like Spawn, and so when these comics were released in the '90s, like the original Spawn comics, and I was super in on the buzz too. Like I had my pre-orders in. When they first got, I got in there. I was waiting in line for it when they first released it. Um, and in a small town at the comic shop in Ontario, like everybody wanted these comics. But it was because people wanted something new so desperately.
Yeah, and
Um, we
something with a little bit more edge to it. Let's be honest.
right for sure.
A lot of the hook for Spawn was kind of the edge in it, but it wasn't overdone and just turned
Right,
ridiculous at this point yet. It was still
right,
fresh. It was still substance to it.
right. And so, and don't get me wrong, there were alternate publishers. There were some alternate publishers, and there were alternate comics. Some of them were really alternate, like the R. Crumb style, or like Fritz the Cat. I can't remember what one of them was.
Ralph Bakshi?
No. Some of the comics back then.
No, I'm talking about
Um,
the creator of the
oh
Fritz
yeah,
the
no, he
Cat.
did Fritz the Cat, but the comics that were, God damn it. I think there was a comic that was just called Filth, actually. That was just a collection of alternative artists and alternative comics, where it was like underground stuff. It
Yeah.
wasn't like comic book heroes; it was comic stories and stuff. Anyhow, um, but the two big players, and DC had Dark Horse Comics. Dark Horse Comics was kind of an alternative publisher, but they were still under DC. Um, and
Hmm.
so you really couldn't break out of the duopoly for the most part. You were always stuck with either a Marvel comic or a DC comic.
Yeah.
And people started getting a little burned out. Right? Like there's Batman movies, there's like 6 Superman movies. They tried to do other movies and just weren't that good. And so people were really like us nerds were really itching for something big in the '90s, and we got it in the form of Image Comics, from Spawn Comics, and then so Image Comics was formed by a bunch of artists from DC and Marvel. So it was Jim Lee, who, shit, I can't remember what Jim Lee did. I think he did a Spider-Man run. Rob Liefeld, who's gone on to do a lot of stuff, but most of which doesn't involve drawing feet. Well, because whenever he drew feet, they were always really bad. He also did that really weird Captain America. He had a really interesting art style.
Oh, right, the
Um,
dude who did like the strangely angled and proportioned Captain America.
Yes, he
Ow,
did.
actually, that's cursed.
Let's see, and then it was Eric Larson, Mark Silvestri. I can't remember what he did. He did something really good too. Will Sportaccio and Jim Valentino. So there's these 6 artists that came together and started their own company, Image Comics, and started releasing comics that were original characters.
Yeah.
Pitt was another original character that came out of Image Comics. That was a cool run. And like I said, it really became like a cultural phenomenon, so much so that HBO picked up Spawn for a show. I mean, they made a Spawn live action movie in the 90s too.
And the only good thing, I think that's what started the conversation, because the only good thing about that movie was the Violator himself, in my
Yeah.
humble opinion.
Yeah. Well, because I think it was kind of a hubristic project from that early 90s where they thought like, oh, we can do this, and then it turns out the special effects just were not there.
No, they were not.
And again, like I said, that was when they really corporatized the comics industry to where it stopped being the artists that were in control of everything, and it started being the executives that were in control. So the artists didn't get to drive shit. It was all coming from the boardrooms and panels of friggin' testing panels and
yeah, people who didn't know what the hell they were doing, basically.
right. It was like the Hollywoodification of it, basically. Which is an inevitability when you get an industry starts getting a lot of money dumped into it.
Yeah, just look at video games.
Yeah. Well, because in the 90s, a lot of the guys who were super into comics in the 70s were getting old enough to actually invest or spend actual money into it. And so that's why in the 80s you started seeing more of the Superman movies came out then. The first ones were in the 80s and stuff. They were really trying to take advantage of those people who were children during that golden age of comics in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
They were children and consuming the comics then, and by the time it was the 80s and 90s, those people were adults with jobs and money. And so Hollywood really tried to take advantage of those people with jobs and money.
Yeah, kind of like what they're doing now, huh?
Right, exactly. But, much like they're doing now, they didn't do a super good job of it, especially for the movies. And so, when these guys saw the opportunity to strike out in the industry against two giants, like the two giants that had basically controlled the industry forever, and they did a good job, and they created a space for the third party comics to come in, for independent publishers. Like, you think of it as, because now there's so many comics that get published via Indiegogo or Kickstarter or something like that. I mean,
Fiendish is a good example by Rainey.
Yeah.
Big fan of that series.
I mean, I've got a foil cover of King Cryptid coming from Peter Simeti that I donated to his Indiegogo. And he's a great example too of artists like Peter Simeti, and I know there's a lot of controversy around Ethan Van Sciver too, but like I like Ethan Van Sciver, and I think that his artwork is phenomenal. First off, his Sinestro is iconic. His villains that he did for DC are iconic. They're fantastic. And he follows me on Twitter. So
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
good to know that some of our childhood heroes didn't just fall completely to shit, huh?
Right. And yeah, there's and now there's like beef between him and Eric Ripa for Ripaverse or whatever. But like, the fact that beef can even exist is, I think, one, is really greatly it really is largely on Ethan Van Sciver. Like, his Cyberfrog Indiegogo, and he proved there were ones before, but that Cyberfrog was really one of the big ones, I think, that proved that an independent creator could create and deliver because that was another thing, is there had been a few Jumpstarter Kickstarters that actually didn't deliver the product. And so he proved that they could not only create, but deliver a quality product on time.
Yeah.
And which is encouraging, right? Like, that's going to encourage other people to do it, and it's going to encourage other people to participate in it.
Yep.
When Kickstarters fail, you know, it's much like anything else. When things fail, it delegitimizes, and not fail because of lack of, but it fails on the part of the producer. You know, like, if you're given something on it, it hurts everybody else who's trying to do something on that platform.
Yes.
So, like,
It's pretty
every
much the sales rule, essentially.
It is.
One bad review needs 7 good reviews in order to make up for it. And again, it's the same for all kind of business, especially for things that are crowdfunded, because you live and die by that. And if someone of big repute, because there are small ones that live and die and don't matter, but when the big ones fail, that's when you start feeling the hurt on everyone.
Right. Well, and it's not even and it's not a failure on, like, it's not a funding failure.
Oh no.
But a delivery failure. And there's been a bunch of those, and they're usually shitty leftist people doing it. It's this goofy, lazy communists doing it, trying to get money. Like, taking the money and running and not actually doing anything.
So communists doing communist things, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. But
if you want to hear
if
you want to hear me and Dave's opinion of the communists, just log on to Sultans of Chatelet.
Yeah, come watch Sultans of Chatelet on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yes.
That's 6 Pacific and 10 Eastern. 9 Eastern in America.
Or just 3 o'clock if you have real time, like in Norway.
Yeah, 3. Or what is it? 5 o'clock GMT. That's
2 if you're 2 if you're a Britbong.
Oh, 2. Yeah, 2 if you're a Britbong. So, perfectly reasonable time to just chill in, turn us on in the background.
Yep.
Anyhow.
Here you go, Bezek, some shilling for you.
Yeah, we get you some shill, buddy. But again, I think what this has done, though, is democratized the comic industry, which is really that's the capitalist way.
Yes.
Right, like, that's more free market than, you know,
yeah, because
Marvel
you literally vote with your wallet in this case.
Right. Yep, exactly. That's how the market's supposed to work. You know, stuff that's cool, you're supposed to get more of because people buy it. Stuff that sucks, you're supposed to not get any more of it because people don't buy it. But now we get stuff that sucks because hedge funds fund it because they want to push a message, not because it's good or makes money. So they'll flush money down the toilet. But that used to not be a viable marketing strategy.
Yeah. Let the market be more like Spawn, self-made and independent, and not Violator, who... I mean, it's pretty obvious what the dude does. Just listen to his goddamn name. He's not the Vibrator, but the Violator.
So now that we've talked about everything surrounding the Spawn comics and everything, we could actually talk about Spawn.
Yeah, or at least the Violator. We can try.
Violator, yeah.
We can try the drawing. I want to try Spawn, but I don't feel like torturing myself with too many chains as of yet. I'm not a technical drawer, dude, but I fucking hate drawing chains.
Along the motif of edgy heroes with chains that Dave likes.
Oh God!
But no, yeah. I guess the basis of the Spawn comics is a military dude. What the hell was he? He was special forces or something, right?
Yeah, he gets incinerated, doesn't he?
Yeah, something like he's wounded in battle, and he's brought back to Earth. And he doesn't know.
I
He's
wouldn't call
confused.
getting a 100% coverage of third-degree burns as wounded in action.
Yeah, so he was killed.
Hey.
He was
I just
killed in
want to make.
battle.
Yeah, there you go. I wanted to make that clear. The dude did not survive.
Right. And he wasn't sure what's going on. You know, it wasn't until later on in the run, like the very first few issues were just him trying to suss out, like come to terms with the fact that he's alive, and then find out who he is, like figure out who he is, remember, and then that starts coming back to him. But then also he encounters the Violator.
Yeah.
You know, which is this guy, and he encounters him in the form of this clown.
Yes, this happy-go-lucky, totally not a serial killer clown who is just smiles and joy all around.
Yeah, it doesn't evil. He was evil in the comics. He was just kind of a mean shit. Always. And they didn't call him the Violator at first. They just called him. He was just the clown originally. He was a really sweet guy. He was really nice to Al. He called him. He said, "You're just a bug with a cape, Simmons. A maggot in a meat suit."
I mean, for Hell standards, that's really nice, though. It's kind of pleasant. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. And you don't find out. So then that lays out the story of Al Simmons being like a hell spawn, which is where the title Spawn comes from. He's a hell spawn, and he's eventually to be conscripted into Hell's army by Malboja, and who is Malboja's he's a big demon. He's one of the seven.
Violator's, what was it, big brother or dad or some shit?
Yeah.
There's some family resemblance. Let's put it like this.
I'm going back to my notes here.
Go ahead.
He's he's an enforcer for Malboja.
Yeah.
And he ends up being one of the five Flebiac brothers, which are it's like an elite group of demons in Hell. So he's higher up in the hierarchy than just a regular guy. He's a pretty powerful demon, which is why he's able to,
fuck around with Spawn as much.
Turn into a monster and fucking kill people and destroy things.
Yeah. Dude has some issues, let's put it like this, and he loves it.
Right.
I mean, just look at that happy face.
And it was cool in the comics because, like, the clown was well done. I mean, McFarlane's a phenomenal artist, and he did a good job to really bring his characters to life. Like, his drawings, one of the things that make his drawings so good is because they have so much action in it. Like, it's a still drawing, but you look at it and you see, because he did the big flowing cape and the chains and everything, right? But you look at that image of everything, it is so dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the chains whipping around and the cape whipping in the air and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, and the cape itself is sort of this living thing itself as well. The cape is a living thing in itself, and you can see that. But another thing I love about the Violator specifically is just how insane his proportions are and his design, and yet the art style makes it work. This gangly, skinny thing with a mouth that looks like it will snap in half if you as much as sneeze in its direction. And yet this dude is able to rip through a car and dismember people while telling bad knock-knock jokes.
Right. Which, I mean, it just talks about the power of demons in the universe. Like, it speaks to the power of demons in that universe.
Yeah. Because I guess heaven and hell is pretty much power-wise on a equal measure. There's no, heaven and hell is pretty much just two superpowers just chomping at the bit to bite at each other.
It is a lot. And and even so, like his army, I don't know, was this army meant to fight? I can't remember if his army was even meant to fight the armies of heaven or if it was meant to fight other demons in hell.
I think it's a little bit of A, a little bit of B. Take over control in hell, and when that thing eventually happens, sometime between now and Return of Jesus Christ, then they were gonna attack heaven.
They're gonna take over heaven. Yeah.
At least try to.
But then again, that's another that's kind of another thematic thing in a lot of universes surrounding hell, which is intuitive because there's going to be a lot of infighting in places where there's evil.
Yeah.
Right. There's going to be infighting among demons, unavoidably, because everybody wants to be in charge, and nobody wants to take orders.
Yeah, and the
Right,
only
like,
one, and the
everybody
ones who
wants
are
to be in
weaker,
power.
yeah, the ones who are weaker than the big guy is there only in the hopes that they will gain his power eventually.
Exactly. So it's all subterfuge and politics and whatever, but it's all backbiting, it's all backstabbing, it's all crabs in a bucket, right? So hell's biggest enemy is hell itself.
Yeah. And yet they are far more trustworthy. Hell is far more trustworthy than actual politicians, because at least they're honest about it being evil.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know, so that's the thing, is that they can be honest about it being evil, because they don't have to hide. But politicians have to hide about being evil.
Yeah. Hide it pretty
they have to
poorly,
hide
but
it to
hey.
continue being evil. Like, everybody accepts that hell is evil and just lets hell be evil as a result. But if people really realized how evil politicians were, there would probably be a little more action to stop it. And of course, that's probably just a hopeful notion on my part, given that
we're allowed to have hope.
reality does not bear that out. But still,
sooner or later, we shall see. Just what happens if you throw holy water at a politician? You'll find out.
Right. Yeah, the Epstein reveals are going to be crazy, but
you look into the list and suddenly a lot of these fuckers start popping out. Hello.
Right. It's going to be it'll turn into an IRL Spawn Comics run.
Yeah. Just gonna be a bunch of them just fighting each other, blaming each other for screwing up.
Right. But one of the super interesting themes in Hell, and it was really used, the Violator was really used as a great tool to demonstrate how evil and malicious Hell was. Right, like, and really more self-interested. Like, Hell doesn't give a shit about Al Simmons. They barely care about the Hellspawn aside from what he can do for them. And so his personal crisis and his struggle is irrelevant to them. Like, he doesn't care. Yeah. And so he treats it like that. He's just like, yeah, whatever, nerd. I don't care about your family and shit. You are ours. We owe you.
Yeah, that is something that is done really well in the cartoon, because the guys who played the guy who voiced the Violator did such a good job with just being this. His voice just fits the character so perfectly in his human-esque form.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to call this a human form?
Hardly any fucking it's supposed effort. To be a human form.
Hardly any effort, just saying that. But hey, he doesn't really care.
Yeah, you know, he's in a stylized universe. I mean, we would all look funny there.
Yeah, all look funny,
I
but
shudder to think of what I would look like in a stylized universe. I look goofy enough already.
Not that bad. Now, I'm pretty sure I would look like a freaking Adonis after about 20 years in McDonald's.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Dave?
And so...
Oh, there you go.
So then the interesting theme in there is that, you know, it's... Because Al Simmons is a good guy, right? Like, the Spawn, who he was, Al Simmons, he was a hero. You know, he was trying to do... He died doing something... Was he a firefighter? No, he wasn't a firefighter. He was in the military. Anyhow, so but he was an honorable man when he was alive, and he had a wife and daughter. Like, he had a family, he had something to live for.
Yep.
But now, like, he can't be around them, obviously, because that just puts them in danger. Because if they were distracting him too much from his duties as the Hellspawn, then the Violator would just kill them.
Yep.
Without a second thought.
Yeah, because the Violator
so
can do that. He's allowed to do so because, well, he's the Violator.
Yeah, and so it really brings in this interesting struggle of a good man has to appease a malicious and capricious demon,
Yeah.
in
also
order to
very
keep his family
impatient.
safe.
Impatient and
well,
childish too.
Yeah, well, that's capricious. But but he is very so he struggles with this, and that adds a lot of depth to the character, obviously, because it opens up the character for the possibility of a lot of growth.
Yeah.
So it's a good story, it's a good theme to explore, and it's not unique.
The possibility of redemption as well. That's the thing.
It is. And again, like we talked about how Ghost Rider, that's another this is not quite a Faustian bargain, because he didn't make this bargain. It literally was made for him.
Yeah.
Like,
if we're gonna go by the cartoon, what was the name of Spawn? His human name again?
Al Simmons.
Yeah, Al Simmons. He was a soldier, and I think the cartoon put him in Vietnam. And he did some...
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, he did some evil shit down there, but it was not by choice. It was because it was dragged along, and a lot of people he was working with were just far worse than him. Like, this one dude is just going like, we're going on an adventure, while setting kids afire.
Yeah. So he got stuck into yeah, that's right. So he was.
I think he got damned by their actions, because the dude himself wasn't bad. He followed orders, which, in the grand scale of things, doesn't really count for much when you stand in front of St. Peter. I think.
Yeah, ends up causing a lot of problems in the end for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was not a bad dude, he didn't want to do evil shit, and he struggled with it in life, and so now it's that redemption for that chance for redemption, which of course everybody loves, but also the idea of using hell's powers against them.
Yeah, evil against evil. Fire to
using
fight fire.
Evil for good. Which, I don't know, that's an interesting notion right there.
Yes.
Using evil for good. Like, how much evil has been vicariously perpetrated by people trying to use evil things for good purposes.
I mean, the best version of it, in my opinion, is still it's not done, but it is pretty much explained in Lord of the Rings with, when Gandalf is offered the ring by Frodo because he's, understandably afraid by the ring of a demigod. Gandalf shies away from it because it's just too tempting. It's too much power, and if he gets it, he will get mad with it. And it's kind of like that. That is because power corrupts, always.
Yeah. Well, and so a lot of the themes of this comic, and a lot of the other comics like that, is the overcoming of the evil.
Yeah.
Right? Like the triumph of good over evil. And I guess I don't know if it means, like, the way it's done, that triumph of good over evil at this point, if it's done with Christ, I had a thought and I lost it. Oh, if it's done to show, like, how much more powerful good is over evil, if it's there to kind of show the overwhelming strength of good over evil, or if it is meant to um, allow evil to exist under the auspices that it can be used for something good.
Yeah.
Because that, again, like, that's the Lord of the Rings. Inevitably, like, he's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this is, it's an evil thing, but we could use it for good. Like, the Hellspawn power is an evil thing, but we could use it for good.
Yeah.
But then, Gandalf rightfully understood, like, no, there's no, this will always eventually end in corruption and misery. And
Yeah.
so it's best not to even go down this path, to even start down this path. Which is
But in this
like,
case,
that's
he had this path thrown at him, forced upon him. He couldn't choose. The choice was made
Yeah.
before the moment he died, essentially.
right.
There we go. Two silly guys. He's doing the pose. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong button.
Yeah, that looks good.
Thank you. I've really liked this. This is a really good cartoon. You should be able to just find it on YouTube, or
I'm
through
sure I
HBO.
can.
It is a good watch. It's just one season, but there's a lot of content in it. I
That's
heartily
right.
recommend
There
it.
was only one season. That's
Yeah.
right. I remember that.
Because the cartoon industry has never been as free as the comic industry, because there's so much moving
definitely not.
parts in it. But it's a
Well, it
very
was another
good job.
HBO cartoon also.
Yeah,
So HBO used to go through a lot of properties back then also.
they did. Like, there's so many goddamn cartoons that you'd be surprised to see. Like, did you know there's a BattleTech cartoon?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Apparently it was atrocious, but it did make some funny memes. You dare disrespect my child?
But then and a lot of that stuff, I think a lot of that stuff, there were some executives that were wanting to take a little bit of a risk on shit like this in the 90s, that wanted to kind of capture or capitalize on it, but it just, a lot of the times, it didn't happen for the big companies.
No.
And
Because
money didn't get
they
thrown
wanted
into
quick
something until it
money.
started getting.
Yeah, they wanted quick
absolutely.
money,
Wanted
the
quick money.
guaranteed ones. I think a lot of them expected. I mean, just look at The Thing, right? The Thing bombed because people were too much into ET at the time, right? And from there on, the
Right.
executives kind of screwed up from there.
Yep.
Marketing.
Yeah. There were some good shows that got put out.
Firefly, for example, is one of them.
But
One of
crap, I can't
Fox's.
remember where I was going with that. Yeah.
Firefly is one of
Firefly was
Fox's
awesome.
greatest failures, because it was an amazing setting, an amazing idea, fantastic characters, and Fox just screwed it up before it even got to begin.
They did. They dropped the ball on that one. Because I guess I would have loved for that show to have had the opportunity to suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wish it would have got enough of an episode or enough of a run to be like, oh, okay, this show has really kind of jumped the shark.
Yeah,
but they never
it fell
did.
off, but at least we got it. Honestly, I'm kind of happy that it ended with a high point, because the series is good, and then it got a final movie, which did give us a lot of answers and put a cap on a lot of things, like the Reaver Plague, the sort of, oh dude, the Battle of Mr. Universe's planet is still one of my favorite space battles of all time. I know we're heading away from Spawn, but yeah, it's so good. You know that smug agent dude saying like, "Oh, not even changing course," and then that what was kind of cloud, nebula cloud or something behind him. Suddenly you have what is essentially the forces of hell just following him. And then his fucking
Right.
smug ass smile just fades immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I mean, so there were some good and innovative stuff in the '90s that did come out.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that was a result of all this was the McFarlane toys, which was another expression of that, like kids growing up into adults, kids who were into comics, growing up to be adults with money, and so they started being collectors, and so McFarlane Toys started, McFarlane started the toys, started making toys. Fuck, I can't talk. McFarlane started making toys under McFarlane Toys, and they were like hyper detailed, hyper
Yeah,
articulated
they were
figures.
meant to be collectibles and actual toys to
They
play with.
were,
They were meant to be
but they also
setting
had.
pieces.
But if you wanted to, you could take it out of the box and set it on the stand and pose it however you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right, which was one of the cool things about it, that they could be, because you could pose them in so many different ways. They didn't just stand there stiffly.
Yeah.
They were dynamic, which I guess is really kind of a theme of McFarlane's work, is that a lot of it is dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
and shows movement. Like it's a static image that's not a static image.
Yeah.
And so the it kind of opened up the culture to more nuance, not just, I guess, nuance into heroes, but also more of a broader acceptance of heroes in general, and not just so people weren't just like, oh, it's not Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man. Like, oh, I don't give a shit about it. But people were willing to see other comics, or to see other properties, and like the comic purists started to understand that um, there was more opportunity for growth, and
Yeah.
and there was more space for new characters and new storylines. You didn't have to follow into the Earth universe, right? Like the standard Earth continuity. Which now they've ruined all that shit with multiverse stuff anyways,
Oh
but anyhow,
yeah.
so they weren't locked into, the creatives weren't forced to not be creative for the purpose of keeping consistency in the story,
Mm-hmm.
because at some point you've explored so much stuff, stories might get a little boring, and especially if you're trying to keep a contiguous canon, and a small self-contained one, and so it is pretty kind of limiting in a way. Of course, that just forces people to be more creative.
Yeah.
Um,
What challenge breeds innovation?
yeah, challenge breeds innovation, generally. But also corporate executives fear innovation. So
Yeah.
it's like that double-edged sword.
You need to find a way
Where
to go forward in a way that doesn't scare the pigeons that are
yeah,
the
you can't,
executives.
doesn't scare the straights. That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. It's all right, Jimmy, as long as these weird ass bird people here don't fly away or start making too many screeching noises, you're safe.
And so yeah, so Spawn comics are more, I guess, the thrust of this whole discussion is that, aside from being like just cool, Spawn comics represent an important shift in not just the market, but in culture in general.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's. Could we consider this like in the beginning to be sort of like a proper indie?
well, yeah, I mean, Image Comics were they were effectively like an independent thing,
Yeah.
right? They weren't just like, they had some money, because those guys had some money, and I'm sure they got some investment backers for it, which that investment, I'm sure, paid off in spades. Um, but they went out on their own and did it, and that was um it was a cool thing, and it was kind of like, again, as a Gen Xer, you know, that was how a lot of the Gen X people got into the market, was by kind of forcing your way in, you know. But then that's how a lot of boomers got into the market too, was just kind of forcing their way in. And so this is a kind of a representation of that as well. Like I said, an important cultural shift in the 90s. Um, and a broadening of it, which, you know, may
A lot of shit
potentially have
happened in the
ultimately been our
90s.
downfall. So, so now while we're doing this, why don't you tell me more about what you like about the Spawn characters, stuff like that?
Well, the first thing that got me was the designs of it, and then I found the cartoon, and I just like, it doesn't have to be like really advanced all the time. To me, I love a good villain. I like an
Yeah,
antagonist because the antagonist is the reason why the hero does what they do. The villain
right.
acts, the hero reacts, right? And
Yep.
Spawn is he's pretty much an anti-hero. He doesn't want to do anything. He basically want to be left alone. Sure, brooding, some of the first of the brooders, but the
Hmm.
Violator is that kind of villain who is evil. He knows he is evil, and he loves every second of it.
Right.
Yeah, he will kick a puppy so hard it explodes just because he can.
Right.
Right. He doesn't care about anyone else. He doesn't care about. I don't even think he cares much about the Great War that
Yeah.
Malboja is planning, because he just want to
Right.
have fun. He chose the clown form for a reason, right?
Right.
And raising hell is what he does. It's all he likes, and he makes it pretty clear. Every single time he interacts with Spawn, he antagonizes him. He is a rude little shit,
Yep.
and he is also extremely, to use the British word, uncouth and filthy.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it is done
uh,
because he can and because he has fun with it. Though himself, when he enters his true form, he just he does it to just put the foot down to prove a point. Because yeah, he does a lot of this shit for fun, but he also knows that there has to be a pecking order, and he's very, very eager to put that thing in place.
Right. Yeah. Well, it seems
Uh,
like creatures of hell are ultimately like creatures of habit in a way.
yep.
Like they want destruction, but in a way they do crave order,
Yeah.
you know. And so,
I mean
which just
the
seems like that's hell's ultimate goal, is to bring order. Like if you go back to the original mythology of it, like that was Lucifer's plan,
yeah.
was order.
It was a
He
twisted
was
order based on a lack of understanding of the greater plan itself, I
right.
think.
Well, but it was an absolute order,
Yeah.
right? There was an elimination of the chaotic factor of human choice.
Yeah.
Like they were have no choice but to worship God and to do what God wants.
I think it also was
Which
that Lucifer was really jealous because God, what was it? He loved humanity more than he loved the
yeah,
angels, while Lucifer, being the most beautiful of angels, he kind of took that personally.
yeah, yeah, and so they didn't see eye to eye on that shit.
Nope.
And so that's kind of the foundation of the foundation of the war in hell, or the war between heaven and hell, is that Lucifer wanted order. He wanted absolute order, and
Yeah, but he wanted
God.
his order. Well,
Well, I mean, regardless, he still wanted the order, but um, whether
are
it
we
was his
talking
or
in the are
anybody
we
else's,
talking
he
in the
still wanted.
comic, or are we talking in comic, or are we talking like the mythology itself?
Well, both.
Oh,
You know, they're pretty congruent, I would say. But really, but in real life, I would say in real life, the real life lore surrounding God and the war in heaven and all that stuff is that Lucifer wanted order, and God did not. God did not want to impose the same order, and then um,
Yeah, because he
and then
already had his plan pretty set, and it was the
right,
plan. I mean, God created it all. He knows all, right?
right.
But
Well, and that's how
then
Lucifer
Luce,
couldn't understand that.
yeah,
Lucifer couldn't understand how God loved an imperfect being,
yeah, and he threw, and
and
because of
made
that,
him jealous.
he pitched a fit, and then he
Yeah,
began a rebellion that kind of
yeah,
cursed, doomed a whole last third of all angels.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
something
know the
like that.
actual numbers, but something went to hell.
Yeah, yeah. It's I would imagine that's up to great interpretation, but that's ostensibly the theory, right? And
Yep.
so, and I'm sure there's definitely order in hell by the way Satan wants it. I mean, in every universe, like this
It's
is
the
a
order brought up on by anarchy. The might mates right. The dude on charge is the
yes,
one that can hit the hardest, and
yep,
that the demon
exactly,
princes are usually the ones doing that.
right. And this comic is an expression of that too, because it's the Violator is there to keep Spawn in check, and try to train him and keep him on task, and let him understand everything so that he can serve the greater order of hell,
Yeah.
like the greater plans of hell.
Yep. Well, the Violator, of course, I don't quite remember. He hates Hellspawn, doesn't he? The Violator does not like the Hellspawn.
No, he's not a fan of the Hellspawn.
No. So he also makes that really, really clear to Spawn himself.
Hmm.
Let's see. I'm just gonna fuck around a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
he definitely makes it clear to Spawn that he's not a fan of Spawn or any of his type.
Yeah, but again, he enforces the pecking order of force. He speaks with force, and that's the only language he uses. To which Spawn then starts to respond, because it turns out Spawn isn't as weak as the Violator thought, which
Right.
then results in them coming to blows. But the Violator isn't a pushover. He isn't exactly a modern Starscream. This dude, the first comic I found of Spawn had the two of them go at each other and rip each other's pieces. Spawn rips off like the Violator's arm, and the Violator just chuckles at it. Is like, okay, I'll do you now.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fun.
because it's a power level thing.
Yeah.
Because again, the Violator's like an elite demon of hell. He's
Yep.
not just some regular schmo. He's an elite demon.
Yeah.
So
And
he's powerful,
he's
and he's been around long enough to know.
yeah, and he is kind of happy being at the position he is in. But as Spawn starts to increase his power, the Violator, out of spite, tries to counter him. So, in a way, the Spawn's growth also encourages the Violator's growth, making him
Right.
a more formidable enemy as well.
Right. Which makes sense, right? That's because the Violator's whole thing was to keep the Hellspawns in order, train the
Yeah.
Hellspawns and keep them in check. So if there's one of them that's getting out of check, then that stands to reason that he's gonna have to fucking do something about it.
Yeah, dust off the
To
old
stop
ass
it.
kicking boots.
Right. So, which I'm sure is I'm sure that's kind of a fun thing for a being like this,
Oh yeah,
right? Like a being that
he
has no
enjoys
compunction about
force.
hurting and destroying shit, like just
Yep.
going on a rampage, probably be pretty satisfying.
I mean, in the cartoon, this dude finds a child, let's say, abuser.
Mm-hmm.
The ice cream dude, you know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he gives him the location and pretty much serves Spawn's daughter on a platter to him.
Uh,
Which should tell you a thing or two about how the Violator works.
Right.
He does that because he finds out. Oh, that's Spawn's kid. All right. Hey, you! The guy with the ice cream and the general creepy aesthetic? I got something for you.
Yeah, and it's again, that shows that's again the struggle where Simmons has to try to keep his family safe while by doing Hell's bidding. Right?
Yes.
Because the Violator's going to kill his family just for the sake of killing his family so that they won't be a distraction to him.
Yeah.
Right.
And
or
also because
as a
he
tool to make
knows.
him do what he wants him to do.
Yeah, and also
You know?
I think most of all, he just finds it funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's the best kind of villains, the ones who do evil shit because they're evil. You know,
Well,
who is a recent...
you mean they don't have some lame, morally gray justification for the evil shit they're doing that's supposed to make them somewhat sympathetic to you?
No, just a plain old evil bastard.
That new modern trope of crap. God, it's so frustrating. It's so tiring.
This is the reason why I'm doing evil shit. It's like this long diatribe. Like, there's some good ones, sure, and they're interesting when you do it, but then it's became the standard of, oh, now everyone has to do it.
Right.
Which is why I just love
Disney
seeing...
started doing it.
They don't have villains
anymore. They tried to
anymore.
humanize all their villains, which again goes back to the using Hell's power for good. Right, like Disney is going through and doing an apology tour for all their villains and trying to make their villains seem like not such bad people, even though they were bad people.
I prefer Maleficent as a jealous hag that just tried to kill a kid because she got more attention than her.
Yeah. You know, and Cruella de Vil wanting to have a Dalmatian coat doesn't need to have some giant, like, oh, she was bullied in high school kind of bullshit story behind it. It's like, no.
Cruella calling the art school, you were really nice to me, don't come to class tomorrow.
Right. Which, you know, like, she just wanted a... Which, it's a far better story if she's just a evil woman who wants, for no real reason. Other than
why did you say woman twice?
Arbitrary.
Sorry.
Well, in order for her own arbitrary evil desires, that's why she wants a coat.
Oh yeah.
She wants the coat because she wants it, and it doesn't matter who she hurts as long as she gets what she wants.
Yeah, and it's never even gonna be anything special for her. It's just what she wants that week, and because she gets a no, it becomes an obsession because she's not really used to hearing the word no.
Right, exactly. It's not because the coat is going to remind her of the only time in high school where she was accepted and loved by people, and then it helps her come to terms with the fact that people were so mean to her, and then it'll help her not be so evil in the future. It's like, no. It's like, no, she was just evil, and it's exactly like you said. It will be something else next week.
Yes.
And the only reason she's mad about this is because she was told no. Not because
look at the goddamn scene, dude. Look at her as soon as they say no. Her facial expression just changes into
in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, you can see it in her face that, okay, you said no, I'm gonna have this just to spite you. I'm gonna murder this puppies as brutally as I can because you told me no and nobody tells me no. And it's that kind of it's also that kind of evil that makes her interesting, you know? Because then you see it is a real evil. Those kind of selfish bastards, they are legitimately evil, and there are people like that. You get good examples of just cruelty. And sure, the Violator is quite literally an extreme of that selfish, hedonistic evil. But it's that lack of self-control that makes him such a good reverse reflection, I guess, of Spawn himself. Because where Spawn holds himself back at almost every angle, unless he knows he can cut loose, the Violator has no such compunctions. Everything he does is just to have fun and fuck with the people who does not give him what he wants. And even he isn't loyal to Malboja, who is what I'm still convinced that they are family in one weird way. As much hell can have families, I think they have a relation. But if he ever got the chance of taking over from Malboja, he wouldn't even hesitate for a second. Because, hey, first, it would be fun. Second of all, I want more power. Give me now.
Yeah, yep. Because with more power, you can do more of whatever you want.
Exactly. And it's that kind of evil which I love about the Violator. And that's the kind of thing people seem to not remember about hell. Like, take modern series trying to depict hell, right? Trying to depict the devil as some kind of sympathetic creature. Like in this series is beloved by a few people I know, but I don't much care for it. Lucifer, you know? Oh, he is evil, but he's not really evil. And of course, don't get me started on that Vivsy Pop series. Started off promising and interesting, but then it kind of... Ugh.
Well, it's just evil apologetics.
It is.
Right. Which is again, like, that's kind of what, like, it makes me wonder, is that what this is? Is the hellspawn and all that stuff, is that just evil apologetics? I mean, I don't necessarily think it is, but is it adjacent to it?
Like,
I think it's an interesting conversation to have.
What makes Spawn a good man is how he keeps resisting the call to just do evil, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, he doesn't fall for it. He always holds back, and the few times he does, it is more for catharsis, and he does it to people who genuinely deserves it, right? Like everything else. It is not he doesn't use it's as you said earlier, it is not evil done for sake of evil, but rather evil used against evil. He only he mangled that cyborg dude because the cyborg dude was, well, holy shit.
Okay, but so then that begs the question though. So he kills evil people.
Yes.
Right? What he's doing is he's sending evil people to hell to create more soldiers.
Yes.
That's why they have him out there, is to create more soldiers for hell. So I guess that's vicariously demonstration of how it's an evil power, and the fruits of it, no matter how well intentioned, will be evil.
Yeah, going back to the One Ring, he would try to do good, but in the end, it would have too much hold, and he would just commit evil. Because Spawn, he saves a lot of people, and he saves the people close to him and the people in front of him. But in the grander scheme, he is helping the very force he's fighting.
Right.
It's like
he's
if
sending
it's like
to hell.
Yeah, it's like if the Doomslayer, for every demon he killed, 2 more would appear, right?
Yeah.
But it's because of that Doom struggle, you also kind of respect Spawn, and you hope that he can find a way to defeat that cycle, that anti-order.
Right. And so, yeah, he uses the power of the hell to fight hell.
Pretty much.
And whether that is something that is, like, it's an interesting... It's a really thought-inspiring or thought-provoking kind of tag or kind of motif, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
The motif of it, because again, it wrestles with that. Can good come from evil? You know, can you make something good out of evil? And that's what Al Simmons is trying to do in the Spawn story.
Yeah, and I don't really think good can come out of evil, but you can use evil to affect something. Like, You get a similar kind of story in Berserk by Kentaro Miura. Guts in the Black Swordsman arc, and also most of the times actually in the first few arcs of Berserk, Guts, the main character, he's an evil motherfucker, right? He doesn't really care for anyone but himself and the people close to him, which kind of fits in the world of Berserk because, again, it's a very dog-eat-dog world. But as he progresses and Guts keeps experiencing life, meeting new people, you know, building up what he lost, and as he realizes more and more how his own actions have pretty much just caused his own suffering, he makes efforts to better himself. In the end, in the current era of Berserk, Guts is a lot more introspective and calm individual, but he's still very willing and capable to kick ass. But if you go to this is a little bit of a spoiler for Berserk, guys, but I still recommend watching it. It is called the Lost Children arc, and that is pretty much the peak of how deranged and downright monstrous the main character of Berserk is, because Guts isn't a hero. He's just a monster who fights on the right side. Or you're basically lucky, because as long as you don't attack him, he won't do shit to you.
Well, that's what Spawn is, you know?
Yep.
He's a monster that fights on the right side. Of course, that's what most heroes are. Really, you could say that about Superman, too. He's a fucking monster that fights on the right side.
Yeah, though I wouldn't classify him as a monster. Superman is just... He's someone who's better in every way. If anyone could actually be called a Supermensch, that would be Superman, because he is superior in every way. But the more heroic side about him is how he holds back from just saying, screw this, I'm done.
Right. But the moment he goes, screw this, I'm done, he becomes a fucking monster.
Yeah, but he never does.
So...
Because the real Superman, it's not really Superman, his name is Clark Kent. Superman is not the character, the person is Clark Kent, but he uses Superman as his alternate alt ego.
Right. Well, but then that is the only thing that separates an angel from a demon is morality.
Exactly, and because Clark Kent was adopted by the Kents, Clark Kent is a good man.
Right.
It is why he will always be the hero. And yeah, he's a Boy Scout, but the dude has the power to annihilate the Earth with a cough if he so chooses. Right?
Well, and I think that Superman is a good example of... Because Superman knows that he can just seize control of everything.
Yeah.
Right. But he knows that kind of power is not really what he needs.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of power would end up being, it would end up being the storyline with Superman on the throne.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want the best evil Superman story, or rather, Superman holding power, Red Sun, the Red Sun.
The Red Sun. Huh.
Yes, that is where Superman landed in Soviet Russia instead of America.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, and there's a movie out there, pretty darn good too. But the comic book is fantastic. It goes so hard.
Nice.
You even have a Russian Batman who is the complete opposite of the real Batman. He's just an Avenger who doesn't care. Who does really, really horrible shit. Batman without a conscience,
like Batman
basically.
Could.
Yeah. Batman without a conscience.
Yeah.
And then you get a Superman versus Batman, which is actually pretty fucking intense.
Right. So again, it's a firm moral code.
Yes.
That separates them. And a lot of modern comic heroes do not have a firm moral code.
No, I'm pretty sure that Riri whatever, known as Ironheart, she doesn't have a moral
Ironheart,
code.
no, yeah, she's a morally bankrupt individual
She is.
But she's written by a morally bankrupt individual, which is why
Yeah.
she's a morally bankrupt individual.
She's also a complete idiot because Satan himself, or rather Mephisto, pops out. Is hi, I'm Mephisto. Who are you? Who are you?
In Ironheart?
Yes.
Seriously, I didn't know Mephisto was in that shit.
Yeah, it is Borat who plays him.
Seriously?
Yep, and
Oh,
he
wait.
and he
No,
he,
wait.
he introduces
Oh,
himself.
you're in the show?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my god, dude!
You want to
They have
lose?
Sacha Baron Cohen playing fucking Mephisto.
Yes.
I wish I did not know that.
Now you do.
I'm now a little bit angry at you for inflicting that knowledge upon me.
I'm happy that I could spread it because it is cursed knowledge.
That is cursed knowledge. Holy shit.
Yeah. And he
That
goes
is
like,
absolutely
I am
cursed.
Mephisto. And Riri's reaction is just this, is that supposed to mean anything to me?
Oh god, dude.
Yep.
So yeah. It's not, again, it's bad writers.
Yeah.
You know, they filled every writing room with low IQ diversity hires. And so every show we get now is just low IQ diversity show. But
Absolute trash, basically.
yeah. Which is much different than the kind of hyper morality of characters in the 90s.
Yeah. Because the villains need to be crafted to reflect a negative side. Like the best villains are the evil ones who are crafted to represent a negative or potential evil that the hero can become.
Right. Right.
Be a mirror, you know?
Yeah,
Or an extreme.
That's what the Violator is, right? Like the Violator demonstrates to Al Simmons his own power. The limits of his own power. So
and he gets to see if he does embrace his own power like the Violator keeps encouraging to do, he will become just as bad as the Violator. I'm not saying he can become worse than the Violator, because you can't get worse than the Violator. He is the peak of all debauchery and hedonism. This dude would really...
Slaanesh, is that what he's a Slaanesh demon?
No, he's worse. This dude would look at Weimar Germany and think, this is a nice holiday.
I don't know if you can get worse than Slaanesh.
Well, Slaanesh has fallen down lately. It is embraced by the obvious people.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna ignore that and stick with actual canon.
Yep, but the thing is, the Violator is of such a limit. He isn't just Slaanesh. He is Khorne. He is, if you're gonna put him in Warhammer term, this dude is Chaos Undivided. He is the poster boy for Chaos Undivided. There is not a single cruel act that this guy hasn't done. And if he hasn't done it yet, it's because he has been too busy doing some other heinous shit.
Yeah, I agree to disagree on that one.
Fair enough. But why would you?
Because I think the ruinous powers are more powerful than this guy.
Again, Chaos Undivided is not to a single god. Chaos Undivided is all of it.
Oh yeah.
There are five factions, and the fifth one is the most dangerous to try to please, because you need to please all four of them in unison.
Oh right. But
I
each
think this
individual one is still more powerful than all of them combined. But that Undivided faction.
No, the Undivided faction is Chaos pure. It is the most powerful faction. The most powerful Chaos champions are in the Undivided champions.
Well, yeah, like Be'lakor and stuff like that. I don't think that Be'lakor could unseat the Khorne.
Oh no, he can't.
You know.
But he's trying though, but he can't.
Yeah, he's trying. So, but But
I'm
yeah,
just gonna.
so the Spawn comics are interesting. Like they inspire a lot of interesting debates about um, heaven and hell and the usage of hellish power for benevolent ends,
Yeah,
right? Like trying to actually like ultimately coaxing good out of evil.
yeah. And the thing is though, I like that Spawn wins his victories. It is not like, oh, you
Yeah,
did something good, but in truth this is evil. No, no, no. He wins his victory, but his victories in the long term doesn't matter because in the end, all the people you just killed just fed the greater war machine of hell itself. Your victory is still our victory. Yeah, you kind of pissed us
yeah.
off. Yes, you killed this thing there. You're being annoying, but that's the worst he is.
Well, and again, I think that shows the cunning of hell,
Yeah.
and that they're gonna work in such a way that even though you think you're doing the right thing, you're actually doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
So it's that old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yes, exactly.
So it's an interesting expression of that, and that he's ultimately doing hell's will.
Mhm.
He's ultimately sending, um, and while he's helping defend, good people on Earth, he's still sending fodder to hell for more,
Yeah.
for
More.
more.
He's one hell of a recruitment drive.
Right, yeah. Hell's greatest recruiter.
Yeah. Quite
Yeah,
literally,
because it's
it's
not like they're fucking asking him to join.
nope. There's
They
like,
make that
hey,
choice
you do,
themselves.
yeah, you got a job to do, and you're gonna do it. He says no. Okay, fine. We're gonna send one against you. In the meantime,
Yeah,
a lot of people get murdered because of it. And while he stands there, yeah, I managed to keep my people safe. This tiny little corner of my world is safe. Meanwhile, hell just rubbed their hands together. It's like, oh, look at this harvest. It is fantastic.
right?
And all I had to pay for it was maybe 2 or 3 demons, and now I have 400 new.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
some
so
math
it's
that's not gonna work for a long time, dude.
it's like even when you win, you lose.
Yes.
Um,
But what
which
else can
makes
he
it seem
do?
like, well, if that's the case, then the best way to do it is just not to play the game,
Yeah. But
right? If
unfortunately,
you're
the
gonna
part
win,
there,
if
this is where this motherfucker comes out. Because
yeah,
he's there to make sure that you do play the game, and if you don't, then you're gonna suffer even more for it.
then it's gonna be bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so. But if you want to control somebody, if you want to give somebody a lot of power and control them, like I think he's probably going about it in in the best way that hell knows how.
Yep.
Subjugate them. You're not trying to make a reasonable person or trying to make them make a reasonable choice. You're trying to subjugate them.
Yeah. I mean, just look what happened to the ice cream guy after he got. First, he got his ass beat by Spawn, and then the Violator just came and put him out of his misery. The first
Right.
thing that happened is the dude was sent into hell, went through a bit of a journey, and then he got hired. Literally, just hired into the forces of hell. He became a hellspawn himself.
Yeah. Yeah. So it ultimately like evil wins in the end.
Yes.
Um, so, which again begs the question: can something good come from evil? And if the and how good is the good that is derived from evil? Like how pure is the actual good that's derived from that? Is it a good that's beneficial to more people, or is it a self-serving good?
Self-serving. Definitely
Yeah,
self-serving. I wouldn't really call Spawn a hero at all. He does heroic things for the local part, but he doesn't do it in a way. He doesn't avoid murdering like bad people. He doesn't have mercy for those he judges not to have it, which I understand it. But he just wants to be left alone, but Hell doesn't want him to. He pushes back when they pushes him, and in a way, I don't think Spawn really cares if he plays into their hands, because he's a broken man, at least from the comic, until he starts trying to get more involved with the Heaven's side in the conflict. So the cartoon never got that far, so I don't really know more than happened after that, sadly.
Yeah, and I never finished reading the comics, so
Yeah.
I never finished the comic run. I got through the first 13 episodes or 13 issues.
And yet that is enough to leave a lasting impression. One cartoon, 13 issues of a comic, and then some smudge reading here and there, and that's enough
Right.
to just have a lasting impact about these characters.
Right. Well, and again, that speaks to Todd McFarlane's ability to design an interesting character.
Yep.
He did a great job of, which is, it makes sense. That's why him and a few other guys were able to start Image and to make Image a successful company, is because they were incredibly talented artists.
Oh yeah.
Like once in a generation type artists, and really did they defined they kind of defined the era in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they were visionaries of their own time. Sort of like how Stan Lee did his own thing.
Yeah. And they were all like really uncompromising creative type people.
Yes.
And which is why Image Comics started this, because these guys were tired of compromising to Marvel's executives and their stupid shit. They wanted to they're like, okay, well, we're gonna go do our own thing.
Yeah.
We're tired of everything being Superman, Batman, and the X-Men.
Yeah. You kind of get the same today too, even in the video game sphere. Like that French game you played.
The Expedition 33.
Yeah, that literally just a bunch of Ubisoft people, ex-Ubisofters, who's like, I am tired of your bullshit. I'm gonna go over there and do my own thing.
Yeah.
Literally what they said, by the way.
Yeah.
I am not lying. I would never lie.
My buddy's playing through that. He's going through New Game Plus on there, and he's doing it in French. Because
Really?
he's like, I want to listen to it. I want to play the game as the devs designed it. So he's got the subtitles on and he's got the French voice acting and whatnot. And it's kind of interesting. But I told him, I was like, one of the best things about that game is it's made in French, and I don't have to play it in French.
Yeah.
So I'm actively going out of my way to not play it in French. Like, I wish I could speak French, just so I could refuse to speak French.
I know enough words to be facetious about it.
Yeah.
I know a word which would get me banned on YouTube, and that was a word that a French chef kept yelling around to a guy I was working with. They did not like each other, and it was hilarious.
Well, I mean, the worst part of Canada is that half the country speaks French, and the other half lets them.
Yeah, well, Canada is a cesspit of evil anyway, so that doesn't matter.
But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is that French sucks. French people suck. Not to get political, but fuck France.
It's not political. You're just stating something obvious.
Yeah.
I have a strong professional dislike of the French, because I've been working 10 years on a boat, serving these guys in a buffet. The things I want to say, yes, the things I want to say about France can't be said on YouTube. Hell, I don't think I can say it in Norway.
This is a hate speech in Norway against the French.
For some reason, we classify them as people.
Yeah, I'm just saying, hate speech against the French should not only be accepted; it should be encouraged.
Damn right. I mean, look at the Violator. He looks kind of French.
Yeah, screw
Yeah.
this guy. He's got that goofy ass clown stuff on.
On, Spawn! On!
He's starting to look like a mime. That's how you know how truly evil he is.
Yeah. And he's just having a good time just being evil. See, he even gives an evil thumbs up. Oh man, I'm
that
having a
looks
lot
great.
of fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
The first creature I saw in Spawn, aside from Spawn himself, I saw the Violator, and I was just mesmerized by how fucked up he looked.
Right.
It's
Well,
like,
it's kind of it's interesting how he's introduced in the comics, because in the first few episodes, like, Spawn wakes up in an alley, you know, and he spends the majority of time actually, like, the first people that he protects and defends are homeless people.
Yep.
And so
Literally a champion of the downtrodden.
right, exactly. And so he's down in the low parts of town, and then this weird clown just comes up and starts talking to him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
and it starts talking to him like he knows him, and so it was really surprising for him from the character side. But of course, then you learn, like, oh, he knows everything about this guy.
I am your
so as you learn
middle
more about the
manager,
Violator-
Spawn.
Right? I'm your direct supervisor.
Yeah.
And I report to this guy. Oh, you got a problem? Talk to HR.
Yeah. And here's the fun part. HR is my family. Have fun with that. Fuck you.
Could you imagine the HR department in hell?
Probably
I bet
better
it's
than one.
gigantic.
Oh, dude, I'm pretty sure actually the entire corporate
Like the
structure
only
of hell
jobs
is
in
just
hell
HR.
are HR.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just handling HR complaints and like ignoring HR complaints.
Hey,
That's
Spawn.
all.
I got a complaint from Catherine. She thinks you microaggressed. Looks like you have to go through another 10,000-year course.
Hell is infinite diversity trainings.
Yes.
Hey, Shade. We're actually recording that right now, brother.
Oh.
Do I need a bounce?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Jumped into the wrong channel.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the lounge.
I know, we're in the
Let's
lounge.
see.
I should have put a tag in here.
Yeah, do that. Let's see.
But
Yeah. Fucking HR hell. HR Violator. Now I can't get that out of my head anymore. Oof. I don't. The thing is, that's all right. I'm just trying to find another joke that doesn't get too far. It's HR. It is the most cursed thing ever, but nobody.
It's infinite and infinity of filing forms.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Forums, courses, diversity training, just more and more shit. I just imagine this Spawn and Keith Davis' voice just screaming. You know that part where he takes a piece of wood and starts stabbing himself in the cartoon?
right.
Pretty much that. Just like, I can't even end it. Just stabs himself with the pen. Not another form, please.
And that's, again, like, it shows how tortured the character is, because he is not an evil guy.
Nope.
You know, Al Simmons, he ended up getting stuck doing some evil shit, but he doesn't want to be a bad person.
No, but
And
he unfortunately had done more bad than good. I don't quite remember how the criteria for heaven and hell works in that universe, but I'm thinking sort of like it's a weight kind of thing, because that was popular back in the day. It is a sort of like when you die, it is the actions you've taken up until point of death. So if you've done a lot of good, then you get taken in quickly. If you have done a lot of evil, then you get sentenced to hell. And Considering that he was currently doing war crimes, however unwilling, but
Yeah.
he still committed them, it kind of tips the scale a bit.
Actively war criming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he was far
You
from
know.
the worst doing the war climbing, as again, a friend is one of his quote-unquote friends go around. We're on an adventure as he
Right.
flamethrows an entire village. Holy crap!
But,
You get some evil in that show, dude, and it's kind of beautiful how fucking terrible it is.
Well, and he did not stop it.
No.
Right. Like he didn't act to stop it, which was an evil thing.
Indeed. So, in a way, as cruel as it sounds to his character, he did deserve it. But he's actively working to, if not redeem himself, at least to try to make the area he's in better.
Right.
A bit of a doomed attempt, but that's why we like the heroes. We sympathize more with the hero when their cause is just fucked.
Well,
Because that's when you want to see them have a break.
The greater adversity they have to overcome, the better the the more heroic the redemption is.
Pretty much.
Right, like the and again, like you said, the stronger the opponent, the greater the victory.
Yes.
Um,
And I'm not talking like a
so-
Dragon Ball that, oh, dude, this dude has higher numbers. No, this guy actually possesses a threat, and you have to make a really hard choice in overcoming him. I'm not saying that every confrontation should be like that, but it's those confrontations you meet. It's those conversations you remember. Again, there's a reason why we remember the Violator over the business dude.
right.
Or Malboja. Because this guy...
Right. Yeah, because I don't remember what Malboja looks like, but I remember
Nope.
what the Violator looks like.
Yeah, it's basically this dude is the one who harassed and put Spawn through most shit, which is why we
Right.
remember him the most, because he's the one who, again, he sent the ice cream dude after Spawn's kid.
Right.
He pretty much just, every moment Spawn was down, he would come out and just laugh at his misery, and just
Right.
revel in how much of a shit situation it was. And every time Spawn
Right.
would just stand up to him, right? He wasn't that kind of guy. If you stood up to him, he would, oh no, I'm actually weaker than you, and you're the hero. It's this dude would just stand there, laugh at you until he got pissed enough to come swinging. He would let you hit him, and then he would kick your ass.
He let you hit, yeah, because he's the kind of guy that would let you think that you're starting to win.
Yep.
Like give you hope just to crush it.
Yeah. Laughing
So-
all the way, because
Yeah.
that's the way you truly have despair when you have a fight with someone. Like as a kid, I ended up being goaded into fighting this one kid who was obviously weaker than me, right? But he was
So someone talked you into beating up somebody, huh?
not that. It was more like my schoolyard bully convinced this smaller kid that he could take me on.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
So I just, I was kind of pushed on to it, and I got tired of it, and I just want to prove a point. So I let him hit me, I let him push me, and then as it came into swing, I did the actual cartoon thing of putting my hand on his head and pushing him away from me as he tried to swing. And it went from cheering from the bully to them laughing at him, and he never tried ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course the bully didn't stop his shit, but the other guy,
Oh, right, yeah.
he stopped being so obedient to him. I
Right,
didn't really
yeah.
have much of a victory there, except for the catharsis.
Right. His plan failed.
Yeah,
But
he still got a laugh out of it.
right. But that is what that's what Malboja's doing
Pretty much.
with the Violator. And it's what the Violator's doing with Spawn.
Yep. And they are not really on friendly terms, regardless of what people think.
Nope.
They just have similar goals.
Man, that looks dope.
Thank you. Let's see there. No. I'm happy with it. It's gone on for a bit longer, but I had a bit more busy work than I anticipated here. Yeah, a little bit more. There's a little bit more busy work, so I'm just going to make a much simpler background here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to church up the background. The foreground's plenty busy.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone over our hour. So.
Oh, yeah, we have. Well, that's why I want
we had
this
to do
guy.
a redemption. I mean, our last one was so quick.
Yeah, Jesus, man. Of course, you don't need to do 2 hours, but let's. We need a little bit longer form just to make sure Besic has something to do.
Just so Bezic can remember why he hates us.
Have fun with that. Let's see.
I think that's good, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is basically why Violator is the guy who I remember the most from Spawn.
Right.
Because, well, he's the guy who makes shit go around. He's the one who constantly fucks around with Spawn. He's the one who makes the world go around.
And we've also covered why I like Spawn in a historical context, and why Spawn is important in a historical context.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're good.
Yep, pretty much. And with that, I would like to thank you, Dave, for joining me here. As usual, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and we get a bunch of good memes.
Yeah, man.
And the pre-recording memes were good, but sadly we can't talk about that because that gets...
Yeah, those aren't good for YouTube. So we'll just...
Not that kind of Starscream, just saying. Well, thank you all very much for joining here. Thank you to Besic, who does all the edits and the hard work of making these videos come out every week. Also, a big thank you to Robert Renato for letting me abuse his music. Go give them both a look. Their YouTube channels are in the description down below. And, of course, a big thank you to you, Dave, for joining me here. Always love having you here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. And to everyone watching and or listening, thank you very much for spending your time here. Deeply appreciated, everyone. And with that, have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Don't clip your energon cubes, folks.